On today's episode of Watch Jericho, we are back with my 2004 Pontiac Aztek. What is going on, guys? I am Watch Jericho, and like I said, today we are back here with the Aztek that needs a transmission. And like 2 months ago, honestly, way back, I bought a new transmission for it. That is a 4T65 out of another 2004 Aztek. And before you go thinking, wow, that must have been so cheap. Aztek transmissions, 4T65s, the cheapest transmission on the planet. Well, yeah, but no. It turns out they are different in like every little range of Aztek. That one was like $300 or $400. Typically they're like $100 or $200. So if you have like an 03, you have the cheapest transmission no matter what. But maybe that one doesn't break. Maybe that's why it's cheap. All I know is this one costs more. Anyway, today we're going to try to take this transmission out and maybe start putting that transmission in. First of all, that's a lot of silver paint. Yesterday, Josh and I installed a complete metal shop in the warehouse. This is his section here. Obviously, the torches are mine and the press, but now there's a complete metal shop here, so we can do more things. And by the way, our whiteboard is complete. Check it out. The whiteboard is actually amazing. We'll just go down here to a 2004 Pontiac Aztek, and you know, maybe it will load. I don't know what's going on. The touchscreen appears to have lost its calibration. Well, the touchscreen worked amazing yesterday, and today it doesn't work at all. It now shows that I'm clicking exactly the opposite of wherever I'm clicking, except for the Windows key. That seems to work. Anyway, I recalibrated the touchscreen, and it works again, as we would expect. There's a to-do list, and that one's supposed to be getting done this weekend. I doubt it, though. Step 1, disconnect those brand new hood struts and put the hood in the service position, which Josh tied back to the mirror. Looks like the mirror. And that's just to make sure this thing doesn't flop forward and smack us in the head. And then we have the brand new engine support bar from Harbor Freight, and we're gonna try to get it in this crevice here and support the engine. So we've got a hook here and a hook here. That's what we're gonna use for supporting this thing. And I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling all this out because we need access to everything in there, mostly the bell housing bolts. So coolant reservoir goes, air box goes, and I'm gonna take the battery out as well because it needs to go on a charger. Let's party. Really pulling that hood back there. I don't want it to move.
I'm really nervous.
This hood's probably $20. Oh, this is a very cheap car to work on. I should tell you guys that. Very, very cheap. Except for that pad. That pad's probably not replaceable. Hood, easy. Anyway, we got the engine support bar all set up. The engine is chained up. We've shredded this thing in just moments. The battery is out, and the air box, ECU box, all that stuff's out. The ECU is sitting over here, and the bell housing bolts and the ground straps, all of those are sitting right there from the top. We've also popped off that shift linkage, which is all the way in the back. Okay, so that's the shift linkage right there, all the way at the back. I used a trim tool to pop that off, and then there's 2 bolts right there on that little bracket to hold the cable on, and that's basically it. And of course, unplug the main connector. Other than that, I think we're about ready to drop this thing. That should have been everything on top. So now we move to the bottom, where we can start on pulling CVs and pulling, what's the K-member? Yeah, the K-member, there we go. We're basically down to that. That's how fast this transmission pull's going. We hope. We hope. went to O'Reilly's to buy an axle nut socket and all the other parts to finish this thing. Of course, we mentioned this when I first bought the car. This ABS sensor was already trash on this wheel hub over here. We found so far, like, we have a to-do list on this thing. The brakes on the driver's side are shot. The pad is just basically gone. And the sway bar end links are plastic in this. The new ones from O'Reilly's are metal. It says right on it, new improved design. But these ones explode. They literally explode into pieces when you try to take them out. What a terrible design.
They're like claymores.
I don't even understand. Yeah, that's like a bomb went off. We bought those, and then of course I had to buy this wheel hub, and I bought those brakes. We'll figure out the brakes. And I bought the axle nut socket, which was the whole idea, and Josh had already pried the CVs out when I got back. He's like, they came right out.
It fell right out.
Fell right out. So, epic progress. One O'Reilly's run for every part. It was all in stock. Take a look at this box. We've got the transmission fluid, complete oil change, a new air filter because the air filter was in terrible shape, new sway bar end links, and a wheel hub. Yeah, this air filter is noteworthy. We have to show you guys. This engine was probably on the brink of death. The brink of nope, no light at all.
Cannot see a light.
Not even a
folded
a
open.
glimpse.
Oh.
Oh. So anyway, the air filter was in bad shape, and of course it probably needs an oil change. Who knows when the last time I got one of those was. So we've got all the bolts out of this K-member. We're ready to drop it. Let's party. I think we can just put an engine stand underneath it and bring it down. We're taking a quick break to let all of the fluid dump out of the transmission and into our drain pan here, because the dipstick has a bolt at the top that is literally inaccessible. I mean, we spent a good amount of time on it and decided that it was pretty stupid to pull the dipstick. So it'll make putting it back in a little more interesting, and we're just kind of letting this thing finish dripping, and then we can drop the trans out completely. But I mean, it's out. Pretty simple. There are not a lot of bell housing bolts. Was it 6 total? Like 6 total.
None on the bottom half.
It's crazy. There are no bolts on the bottom. No bolts. No wonder the top's reinforced so much. Because they were like, this is a dumb design. We better do that. Anyway, she's out. And I guess we're going to put an accessory belt on it too while we're in here. And this thing will basically be a new car for whoever gets it. And there you go, the 4T65 is out of the Aztek, and we are ready to swap it over to the other one. We got the brackets removed and everything like that. So we're gonna quit for today because we've been here all day, basically dealing with a whole bunch of stuff, and we'll throw this back together, I don't know, tomorrow, the next day, something like that. But hey, the Aztek, massive, massive progress. And when it goes back together, it's gonna be so much better. So let's head over to the other building and take a look at my brand new garage doors that are going in. All right, we're coming over to the car storage side. I've always had one garage door that was basically unusable. It would come up the track and then the rollers would fall out. It was always a nightmare. That door is now gone. And a brand new door is going in. Now these are way better doors. They're insulated. It's just better tech all the way through. Not this foam insulation that's shoved into a non-insulated door. This is actually airtight, which is way better. And it will let this thing run the heaters way less this winter. It's almost winter time again. Last year we ended up running the heat quite a bit. And of course there's 2 heaters back there. We got them going in a video. I need to like keep those heating bills down. And these doors are only about $1,000. So a huge upgrade. It'll keep the water out. It's not been up. It'll operate properly, and it'll lower the heating bills. And then this one here, of course, is also in the actual same building. It's divided by a wall, but it's not airtight or anything. So the heat's just coming over here and going through this door, which was complete garbage, like completely not insulated. This was the worst of the bunch, and you couldn't really open it unless you forced it open. You usually needed 2 people. That one is getting replaced today as well. And we're moving this wall. This wall is getting pushed over. It's all gonna get sheetrocked in and insulated. Brand new doors with, oh, the metal rollers, not nylon?
Yeah, they are.
Oh well, they're nice ball bearings. That's for sure. It's gonna be sweet. Soon we're gonna have to move this metal shop somewhere where there's light.
Or you should just get a new warehouse with lights.
Oh yeah, let's just order a new one. Let me hop on Amazon. So we got a ton done today, and we'll get back on it next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.watchjrgar.com where you can get cool shirts just like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And I will talk to you next time. Got the whiteboard working. All the projects are organized. I can check on them all at home because it's all in OneNote. Transmission out and everything to bring this back to life. I just need to go over to the brake shelf and see if I actually have the brakes in stock for this. If not, we're going back to O'Reilly's. Yeah, I threw a new copy of Windows 10 on this. Weirdly, it seems like it's self-activated because apparently these have hardware activations for old Windows 10. So this thing should be ready to rock and roll. All we gotta do is run power up through our newly drilled hole in the whiteboard, plug this thing in, and plug in all the other cables here. Got a bunch of cables. Okay, it's really just 3 cables. Power, HDMI, USB. I did install the ELO drivers on this, so hopefully it just boots right up. And we get Windows. Okay, here we go. Calibrating this giant touchscreen. Close enough. Where is the on-screen keyboard? Windows accessories? Or tablet mode? Keyboard. Now it's worthless now, but I got what we needed.